Oh my gosh, we're live. Well, another a season of Cobra Kai has come and gone. And honestly, I think this would work better if this was a weekly series. That way we could talk about it every week instead of just throwing it all at once. Especially for YouTubers like me who have to go through the entire season and take notes to figure out what to exactly how to break this down. Breaking down an episode is
Yeah.
easier than breaking down a season. But yeah, welcome to another Nerdporial discussion. Once again, I said we're talking about season 5, and want to say hello to the panelists here. So, for the first time ever in his grand Nerdporial debut, we have another child of light come to grace us with his blessings. Alex Green, what's up? Thanks for coming on.
Not much. Happy to be here, man. This is. I know you've had a couple other white cloaks on. Figured it was finally my turn, and couldn't be happier. Love your work, and just happy to be here.
Okay, thank you. And just tell me, how'd you get in Cobra Kai?
So I was actually a Cobra Kai originalist. I had YouTube. It was YouTube Red at the time, and via YouTube Premium, just because I like to listen to music when I ran, and I could turn the button off on my phone, which is the only reason that I had it. And then I saw Cobra Kai, and I was thinking like, this is going to be the worst show ever. I'm curious to watch one episode of this because I want to see how bad it will be. And I watched the first episode, and I was just stunned. I was like, why is the best show on television on YouTube Red? Like, what broke in my universe that this is occurring? Um, and I think the longest I've taken to finish a season now is 2 days since release. I am a huge fan. Not sure if I'm as big a fan as Runner Blaze there with his setup, but couldn't be happier with it.
Even better than Better Call Saul?
Different kind of shows,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
very much the same caliber, albeit in different genres.
Of course. And okay, thanks, Alex. Welcome once again. Welcome to the Continuum. And our next guest is a new YouTuber, and this is his first time on the channel. Let us welcome the Divergent Collective. Hi, Divergent. How you doing?
Good. What's up? What's up? What's up?
So I have to ask the same of you. How did you get into Cobra Kai?
Same story. I came across the ad that like the trailer for it and heard a bunch of people expecting it. Everybody was excited. YouTube Premium, just like him, and I saw the first episode and I haven't stopped ever since.
All right. Have you watched Karate Kid films back in the day?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, like once again, like I just the idea that Cobra Kai not only is entertaining in and of itself, but it respects what came before is a very important thing that really got me hooked on it and really made me want to watch it more. Especially the scene in season 1 where he goes to Miyagi's grave, and it actually made me shed a few tears. I mean, as a kid, I saw Mr. Miyagi, mentoring Daniel's son, and so seeing that just once again, it was a very timeless moment because, like all things, like all people, time moves on, people get older, and sometimes some people, are no longer with us. So it was just one of those things that really said something to me. So, but then again, we got one more guest to welcome, and this is his second appearance. What's up, Runner? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me on. As you said, the second time being here. The first time I was on, we were talking about seasons 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai. And we couldn't find a date or whatever for seasons 3 and 4, but
I got
jumping in right
to. That's all on me. I got too hooked up. I really wanted to complete my Ocarina of Time project, so I spent all my
that's
time finishing that very long retrospective. So
no,
that's why I didn't even do that. So
no, that's cool.
we'll do a really quick recap of season 4, or at least what happens at the end of season 4 to lead into season 5. So
Yeah.
since we're talking, since you've already been on the channel, and I know you've already said how you got into Cobra Kai, why don't you lead us off with what happened at the end of last season 4, that leads into this season?
Well, I know they had like that tournament. I got to rewatch all the seasons.
You didn't rewatch it? Okay, then I won't. I won't put that on you. I won't put that on you.
I don't know the very end that like. Well, I know that Daniel goes to Mr. Miyagi's grave and then Chosen shows up. I know that happens.
I was like, where is that gonna go?
Yeah, no, and that really like sparks like, oh my god, like they're actually gonna team up type of thing. So that was cool. But I mean,
Tori finds out that Tori finds out that Silver bribed the judge.
Oh yeah,
that's true. That's
Tori
true.
wins the female division tournament against
that
Sam.
I remember because they went over that this season.
She cheated. Hawk beats Robbie in the male side of the tournament, and then Terry Silver beats the formerly assumed to be invincible Kreese in the outside of the ring gladiatorial stuff, which
the game of senseis. I'm not going to say the Game of Thrones, even though they continually talk about Game of Thrones, especially what's his name, Dimitri. Dimitri always calls himself Samuel Tarly because of the way he has a hard time fighting back and everything. Only difference is Dimitri there's a payoff to Dimitri, unlike Samuel Tarly. Samuel Tarly never learns how to fight in Game of Thrones. So here, seeing him be able to hold off and defend is just awesome. That's the thing I like about Cobra Kai, is that there's always a payoff for everything that they set up. Like if there's a new move that they learn, if there's if there's like a thing that they introduce on the screen, like for instance, Kreese in the Jello. I didn't think much of it, but you know what? The Jello has a payoff at the very end. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, something so little like that. You're right. And if you want me to, since in case like anyone else didn't see the last, when I was on with you, I can talk about how I got into it because it's different than everyone else.
Sure, go ahead.
So like when it just dropped on Netflix, I heard word of mouth. When people saw it on YouTube, read like, "Oh, this is an amazing show. It's the best show right now," and all that. And I'm like, I didn't care for it at the time. Well, I mean, I hadn't seen it, but I didn't like bother to watch it. Like I didn't think it was worth paying the YouTube Red subscription or whatever. But then I heard like, oh, it's gonna be on Netflix. It's like, okay, I own Netflix. I'll watch it there when it comes in. And so then like season 3 comes out. I rewatch the first 3 Karate Kid movies because I had only seen the first one like a long time ago, and I wasn't into it at the time. But then now that I'm older, because I was a senior in high school when I rewatched them and then watched the first 3 seasons. And watching the first movie, I was like, this movie's a whole lot better than I remember. And then I finally watched 2 and 3, and I enjoy them for what they were. And so then I jumped straight into Cobra Kai season 1, and literally blew me away. I surfed through that whole season, and then like half of season 2 in one day, and then like the next day I wake up and I just watched the last half of season 2 straight to season 3, and I'm like, damn it, I want more. So then I woke up very early in the morning to watch season 4 of Cobra Kai. So for season 5 I had only watched the first half one day, and then the next day the other half, because I had a little trip recently. But yeah, season 5 was I think it's almost as good as season 1 in my opinion.
So you still think season 1 is the best of the seasons?
Yes, but season 5 is close because it gave me a similar reaction to season 1.
Okay. Well, this season, what happens? So a few things happen. So Kreese goes to jail. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Silver playing the game of senseis. That's what I'll call it. The big turn, the All Valley happened, and Cobra Kai wins ultimately. So Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, they can't practice. They can't practice. They can't do anything anymore. And of course, Tori. We find out sees that Silver paid off the referee. That's why she won in the first place, which I forgot. Kind of stinks, but because I actually thought Tori won. I actually thought Tori won that fair and square the first time I saw it. So. I still like Tori. I still like Tori as a character. And then, of course, Miguel runs away. Miguel just can't handle, if I remember correctly, Miguel, because of just all the conflict and all the drama that's going on around him, he just decides to leave. He just decides to leave, and he wants to go, find his dad. He doesn't know anything about his dad. So that's where we begin this season. So I guess we'll start with Miguel's arc. So I was kind of surprised Miguel's arc was really short. It was only in the first 2 episodes, and that was pretty much it. We don't see Miguel's dad after that. And I honestly was expecting to see him tell his father who he was, but he never really got to. And there was a point where he was very close. There was a point where they were very close. What was his name? Luis or something? Or no, Hector. Hector was very close to finding out who he was by taking his cell phone and going through his pictures. And then he just drops it. He's like, "Oh, kid, I'm sorry. I thought you were, FBI or whatever." So, yeah. So
I was extraordinarily disappointed that the first 6 episodes of this season were not Johnny and Miguel doing basically, a Naked Gun-esque buddy cop adventure, roundhouse kicking their way through Mexican cartels. I feel like this was a miss, but I liked what they did with Johnny, but I thought Miguel was a little undercooked here.
I actually agree. I agree. I mean, it was a heartfelt payoff at the end, but it just felt kind of quick. It just felt a little too quick. And we didn't learn that much about Hector. All we know is that he's a wanted man in Ecuador, and he took out a gun. He when they were they were hiding out in that shop. He takes out a big ass pistol, and Miguel's like, "Oh shit, what am I dealing with?" And then yeah. And then he finds out that he left because the mother and the grandmother, which his family forced him to, and he doesn't regret nothing, and that just causes him to leave. And magically Johnny shows up the moment he walks out the door. So I mean, that's just very I guess it's pretty pretty convenient, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
I still love this scene despite the convenience. This is one of the few shows where I'm more forgiving if they do things if they do things that are more convenient or things that are unrealistic, like all those fights. Nobody's in juvie, or only one or two people are in juvie. But
let's make it abundantly clear here: 80s action movies, the plot doesn't have to make a ton of sense. So long as I can get the payoff of a couple of karate fights, let's keep it reasonable. I will also say I was less than impressed with the actor, and maybe it's the actor of Miguel's father, and maybe it's just the genre. But I feel like we've seen better cartel bosses in other things. Like the guy who plays Galindo in Mayans basically plays the exact same role as Miguel's father, just far better, far more menacing. I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed by his performance.
He just came off as a really sweet, nice guy, and then all of a sudden, flip. Once he heard FBI, he just went flip, and then he became a little more. Yeah, he just became a little bit more, maniacal, or not maniacal. He just like completely flip flopped his behavior totally. So I kind of see where you're coming from. And
I guess I just expected him to be a little cooler under pressure. I guess is maybe my criticism, but maybe I'm being too critical.
All right, I gotta say, so shout out to Tom from Midnight's Edge. What's up, Tom? How you doing? You're a big fan of the show. I know Runner. You and Runner are acquainted, aren't you?
Yeah,
Give you
we're
shit for working for Best Buy.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'm on a podcast with him every Wednesday. And well, he doesn't give me as much shit about the Best Buy stuff as Greg from Fanzine Vids. He fucking hates my Best Buy because it's better.
I'm still waiting for Cobra Kai to come out on video. I'm still waiting for the Orville to come out in HD video Blu-ray.
I have the first 3 seasons of Cobra Kai on DVD, but I hope Sony really does a 4K release of all the seasons
Yeah, I
when
know.
they're
I
all
mean,
done.
it's all the shows I don't want that are coming out on Blu-ray, like all the new Star Trek, all the new Trek shows, and
Yeah, I know. I've seen those at my Best Buy. No one's buying.
nobody's buying Star Trek Discovery season 3 or
No.
4.
Tell me
Star
nobody
Trek
wants
Picard
season
season
2 of
1.
Star Trek Picard.
I remember seeing Picard on Blu-ray over there. It's like who's gonna buy that?
People that love everything. I'm just saying. I saw the season 1. I was just like, this is insulting to fans of even Voyager, and Voyager is the low point of classic of regular Trek. So I'm just saying.
I guess I'm the black sheep on panel because I actually love Picard.
Which season?
Uh,
Season 2?
1 and 2.
Oh.
And I'm looking forward to 3. Don't kill me.
People aren't going to like what they like. I'm interested in what certain people on Twitter are saying about season 3. So I'll probably give it a shot. It looks better than the previous seasons for sure. But just the way they treated the character, it's just like, come on. That is not the Cobra Kai does what Picard should be doing, what Cobra Kai is doing. Like
Exactly.
not fundamentally changing the character and regressing them. I mean, Picard's just an old man who forgot how to run a ship and is getting shit on by other Starfleet people and everything, and the way they murdered Icheb is just makes me. I think about that scene. It just makes me sick to my stomach.
Well,
Ripping out his eye.
are gonna have the next gen cast come back.
They are because
Right.
they're.
I can get more broke ass 7 of 9. Wonderful.
You mean Jerry
Picard
Ryan
more
playing Jerry
characters.
Ryan? You mean Jerry
Yeah.
Ryan playing Jerry Ryan? Because I don't see 7 of 9 in that performance. I see her playing herself. So, but I got a super chat from Mr. Lyle Hammock for $5. Lyle, you're awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I can't stand just dropping a hello to Nerporial and Alex. Have a great stream, guys, and hail to you both. Hail to you, Lyle. Hope you're still enjoying. I know you've been cautiously optimistic about Rings of Power, so I hope you're enjoying it. Did I tell you I was on the show? I was on Rings of Power.
What?
You looked quite enthused.
I was on Rings of Power. Yeah, I was the stunt double for Galadriel on that very slow white horse.
Oh, the screenshot thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me and a few others were doing a live watch party, and I just tried to recreate the look that she gave because it's such a horrible look.
It is bad.
It hurt my face. I don't know how she can smile like that. It's just like it's inhuman almost. Not saying Morford Clark is inhuman, but her performance is much to be desired, I'll say. So back to Cobra Kai. So but what do you guys think of the fight with where Johnny and so the one fight that Johnny gets into outside of the mixed martial arts was at a beach, taking on Australians.
I thought that was fucking hilarious. I thought he was literally gonna shove that surfboard up his ass. Oh, that was funny.
So they take advantage of Miguel when we first see them. They take advantage of Miguel by taking his they take his wallet and they force him to pay for it, and he's just like, I don't want any trouble. I'm alone.
No,
I don't want any trouble.
I think they also don't they take his backpack?
Or yeah, they take his backpack.
Yeah,
and
they take his
like,
backpack. They try to steal Johnny's wallet, but he counters them back with like a grab or something because
he's
felt
he's older.
he's older and he knows. But you know what's funny? That one Australian dude with the white blonde hair, played
the leader.
Yeah, the leader. He played Kano in that god awful Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
That was the same dude.
But like, I mean, his performance as Kano was probably the best, one of the few good things in that movie to me.
So
but like,
so it was that
I noticed
bad?
that.
So was that bad, that new Mortal Kombat movie? I've been meaning to see it.
Well, if you're a normie, you'll probably have fun with it. But if you're like a legit, like, if you know the lore, not so much lore, just like if you've played the games and you know them very well, you're not gonna like them.
Okay.
Like, it's not a good adaptation of what it's supposed to be.
Not like Resident Evil on Netflix level bad, where you don't even recognize the characters.
It wasn't.
Freaking
It wasn't.
Wesker.
Well, you can recognize the characters. It's just the premise of the movie is not Mortal Kombat whatsoever.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. Are we talking
it was dog shit. It wasn't worth watching. It's barely worth discussing.
I'm talking about the new movie that came out, the latest.
Oh,
not
the one where they decided to get rid of Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, y'all are doing.
Johnny Cage not being there is the least of my problems. Honestly, it has more to do with there's no tournament in the movie in Mortal Kombat. The whole point of it is that there's a tournament being involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks.
It was more of a Sub-Zero redemption plot or something.
Plus, like, they like Jake Skywalker Raiden in that, but like that's a whole other stream. I can rant on that movie for quite a while.
Speaking of tournaments, what's funny was when, I'm not sure how familiar you are with anime, but there was one show in particular I thought of. Remember when Miguel gets close to his father by rescuing his son or stepson, I believe? That reminded me of a show called Yu Yu Hakusho.
Absolutely.
Like because the reason why the main character dies, Yusuke dies in the first episode, is because he tries to rescue a kid who lost his ball, and he saves the kid, but he gets hit and gets killed in the process. So it's him dealing with the afterlife. But here it's just, for a second I thought Miguel was gonna get hit. It's like, oh no, and then no, nothing happened. But but between that and the super villains of this season, there was, besides Kill Bill, there was just Japanese anime influence in this series, and you know what? It was fucking awesome. It was freaking awesome.
My sister talks about that a lot. How American shows need to get back to anime style broad characterizations.
Yes.
Stop with nuanced characters. This doesn't need to be Game of Thrones. Like, give me Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse over Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi every fucking day.
And give us villains who we love to hate. We don't need to have all these sympathetic villains. Give us villains that are fun to hate, like Terry Silver.
Right.
Make them. I mean, don't go too far, but make them. Just make them fun to hate. They're bad guys.
Right.
I mean, like, I'll be honest, Ramsay, even though Ramsay Bolton was a two-dimensional villain in Game of Thrones, seeing him get killed was the best feeling I've ever had, because he was that bad of a guy. And that's what people want. We don't want, when you don't have a show with no villains or overpowered heroes that beat the villains easily, like in Mandalorian season 2, it's boring. And it just doesn't leave you wanting more, at least in my opinion. But Cobra Kai leaves you wanting more.
I got a question for you. How the fuck did we get a Batman movie with Paul Dano as the Riddler when we had Thomas Griffith as Terry Silver running around? What was that casting choice? How incredible would a Batman movie be with Terry Silver as the Riddler? He even looks the fucking part. I mean,
that would be cool.
That tall, skinny, sort of serious face. I mean, he looks like an older Jim Carrey, basically, doesn't he? Same
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah,
thin body
kinda.
type.
They keep digressing with the Riddler, man. He went from being dapper and awesome to looking like the damn Unabomber. Uh,
no,
or
the
a school
Zodiac.
shooter.
It was Zodiac Killer. That's where they
Yeah.
were going.
We got fucking Paul Dano. Why
Like-
are we getting worse? You talk about degrading villains.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just like,
Paul
what
Dano's a
if
good-
what if
Paul
we
Dano's
mix
a good actor.
what if we mix true crime with Batman? Let's see what we get. I mean, I'll be honest, I did like parts of the Batman, like the whole bomb part in the I don't even remember. I saw the movie once. Remember the bomb threat scene
The
where
Flood.
I
Yeah.
kept falling asleep. The first time I saw it, I tried watching it on HBO Max. I fell asleep. I
saw
thought
it-
the whole movie he was dressed in the Batman costume because I didn't see him once as Bruce Wayne. I had to rewind, like, whoa,
Nah, his Bruce Wayne wasn't great.
I like his
no.
Batman. I like the silent. I actually he was more like Michael Keane. He was silent and he had. I felt he had some presence.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there are some. I mean, I enjoy the Batman for what it is. Even with its problems, like
the
I was
cat
fine.
cow.
Oh, the cowl's not good.
No, the cat cow pissed me off. I was like, is she a cat or a burglar? It's like, I was like, freaking Michelle Pfeiffer had a better cow than you did.
Yep. You're not seeing
yeah,
it, man. Slap a lime green suit with some purple question marks on that guy and cut him
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you need to have your green villain. That was what the Riddler did. But Riddler also, I loved how. Did you like how he was depicted? I know we're talking about Riddler in Cobra Kai stream, but didn't you like how he was depicted in like if you guys played the Arkham games, Arkham City, I think in
I
particular.
played all of them.
Okay. Did you like how he like kidnapped people and you have to solve like puzzles in order to beat them?
Yeah, that
The first four
that's stuff-
times, yes. The
Those-
that's stuff I-
793, no.
No, that stuff that he did, I dug until the very end where he's like in jail and he like is screaming. I'm like, that's where the Riddler really lost me.
Yeah.
But
So
I didn't. But overall, I didn't hate the Batman, even though I have like some issues with it, obviously.
So
Like,
you see,
and,
so
like,
you
I
see
think-
Terry Silver as the Riddler. That's a very I never thought honestly I've never thought of that.
I
Wow.
could see him being like a Riddler for like Ben Affleck's Batman. Just looking at his age.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like-
a Riddler that can fight too, because Thomas
Oh,
Ian
yeah.
Griffith is a real. I think he
I mean,
does
I mean,
taekwondo. I think
I mean, the Riddler's not like too much of a fighter, though. That's the thing.
he uses his brain,
Exactly.
devises
Like
his schemes.
Okay, but we're talking about 80s style superhero movies. I don't want an 80s superhero villain that gets punched in the face for one time at the end of the movie and then gives up. I at least need some token resistance, hand-to-hand
yeah.
combat kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
But-
you need to have the villain be, in my opinion, you need to have the villain be even stronger than the hero starting, and then the hero has to go through his journey, and then he eventually gets better. But it's still a question of whether there's still a bit of a difference in like ability, and so that's where we get even more invested in the hero going after the villain and barely beating the villain, using something he or she learned early on and using that, kind of like how this season ended. If you like the way Daniel fought Silver at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about that was how he took things he learned from part 3, not from this season, but from part 3. The 3 things that Silver taught him. Like I think first thing, what was the first one? If a guy cannot walk or can't stand, he can't fight. I think that's the first one. What was the second one? If a guy can't see, or I think
The
that's
C
the third
was
one.
the last one. Yeah.
And then what was the second one? Or maybe there wasn't a second one. I'm trying to think. But what I did. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it was breathe, because he hit him in the chest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can't walk, can't breathe, can't see.
Okay. And what was funny was that paid off because we see him teach that chest punch to Kenny, and Kenny was able to knock the lights out of or knock
Hawk.
the not the lights, the breath out of both Hawk and Robbie during the final fight. So we see, the origin, Silver trying to do it on Daniel, and Daniel was able to block it with his knee. So that was the payoff. That was the payoff there. So it wasn't going to work on Daniel. So, but yeah, it was just stuff like that, because even before, like, they had a fight earlier. They had a fight halfway through the season, and Daniel lost. And it was the same thing with Johnny and Silver last season. Johnny lost. Silver's just that much better is just that better trained, in the directly trained by South Korean. What was the name of that South Korean martial arts master? Kim something. It's always a Kim. Kim
Sung Yo.
Kim Sung Yo. And I think what was the style called?
Young. I meant to say Young. Kim Sung Young. Sorry.
Kim Sung Young. And the style was called Tang Soo Do. Okay.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. A little bit more. I like the idea of world build. I love the world building aspect of this series.
Every good martial arts film has a secret dark karate style taught by a secret dark karate master. Let's not mess with the formula. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, that's another thing too. We didn't get to see Kim Sun Young's face. We just saw his like gray hair, and he was like walking while walking back and forth as Silver and Kreese fought each other, and the little girl was hiding behind the pottery plant.
You kind of wonder if there's a history between that master and maybe Miyagi or Miyagi's father.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, it's interesting how Chosen knew who this guy was.
Planting the seeds for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if they'd ever take a flashback. We did get to see Sato though this season. We got to see young Chosen training. I think it was 1971 or 72. He was a kid, and he's training alongside U.S. troops actually. At least I thought were those U.S. troops. I believe those were.
Yep.
So we got to see that. So what's funny is the actor that played Sato in part 2 actually passed away not too much longer later. So let's see. I think I have it right here. I'm trying to understand what they're doing here. So they're punching the sand.
They're toughening up their hands. They're building up the calluses on their hands by hitting the sand. They're basically forcing their hands against the roughness.
Yeah.
And so they're building up the harshness of their hands.
Okay, and I think Chosen had like a pad or a cushion under there to soften it, and of course Sato yells at him because of that.
Yeah,
because there's no blood in his sand.
Yeah. Okay. There's Sato. I'm going to be honest. The cast. He looks I buy this actor as a young. I forget the name of the actor that played Sato in part 2, but I could buy that this is young Sato.
Yeah, his hair's even parted the same way.
Yeah, and see that once again, that's the appreciation I have for the detail and the care of what came before that goes into this show in particular.
Hell, man, if it was Amazon Plus, it'd be black.
Or if it was Netflix, same with Netflix. I mean, once again, Albert Wesker. So I'm curious. I think these are U.S. troops because they're in Okinawa, and there's a base. I think there's a naval base or
it was not a naval base. It was an army base, and it was during the Korean War.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, so we get so going back. So here we have. Let's start with so we already talked about Miguel and Miguel's arc. He meets his father, learns the reason why his father is the way he is, and then rest of the season doesn't really do much. He breaks up with um, Samantha,
Uh-huh.
and then I think the other big arc is him and Robbie. So, what do you guys think of him and Robbie finally putting aside their feud or their
I
animosity?
I was about damn time.
Yep. Loved
Yeah,
it.
the same
Yeah.
with that's how I felt last season about him and Johnny. I was just like, come on, like there's got to be some progress with him and Johnny. So seeing him go on the road trip with Johnny in the beginning of this show, I thought was pretty cool, especially that they teamed up to fight those wacky Australians in in Mexico. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you think they get in trouble with the police, you know, because the police can be pretty corrupt in certain parts of Mexico. Um, but no, it's Australian it's Australians who they fight with. It was just ridiculous. But there was that tense scene where I think Miguel goes into this one place and he thinks he's talking to his father because he got the address, and the guy it wasn't the guy, and like there was just a lot of cursing and there was just a lot of cursing in Espanol, and I was like, wait, is that his father? No, it wasn't his father because he leaves the place, and then that's how he overhears somebody, and they starts following a guy, and that's how he finds his father in the first place. So yeah, that was one
But
scene that I was expecting to see those guys come back, but we didn't see them come back.
mm-mm.
Try to go after him.
That's what you call a red herring.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
You know,
I
and I
loved the
also
way.
found interesting how like Miguel was about to like didn't want to tell his dad who he was in the beginning because he saw that he had another family, but towards like the part where he started noticing that his father was like a bad guy, he started pulling away even more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, this was pretty heartbreaking right here.
Yeah,
There's
he
the
was
dad.
I've seen that guy in other things before, but I can't remember what TV shows.
Yeah, I haven't seen him either. I don't know what he's been in. So yeah, that's Mama. That's what's her name? I forget her name. Olivia. Is it Olivia or
Carmen.
No,
Carmen?
Carmen.
Carmen. Sorry, I had the name. It's hard to remember names. Like I get brain farts every now and then.
I
It's a
rewatched
big
I,
cast at this point.
Oh
I
yeah, dude.
rewatched again last night, but I should have brought out my notebook just to take little tiny notes so I could remember because I watched it for the sixth time. The star of the season, right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like here, like we didn't really learn much in particular. I mean, obviously you see the gun there, he's drinking, and he's basically spouting everything to Miguel. He still doesn't know that Miguel's his son. I'm curious if he'd ever come back. Do you guys do you think like his purpose in this story overall is done, or do you think we'll see more Hector down the line?
I
This is going to be one of those we're only going to see it if this show gets bad. Like when we're on season 13 and we're desperately stretching for plot points, Hector will find out that Miguel is alive and in Southern California and will come looking for him, and Miguel and his
Yeah,
friends will have to fight him off. Like that's when the show will have truly like
Or
sort of lost some of it.
wait a minute.
dude,
Oh, wait a minute. I got an idea now.
I think it.
I know what they're gonna do. If they do something like that, he's gonna send people to kidnap Carmen, and then Johnny and them are gonna call him and be like, "We have a particular set of skills."
You know what?
Yeah.
I retract my previous statement. I hope that's next season.
That's not gonna happen. Don't do if you do that, showrunners. I
Oh,
don't know.
come on.
I'd get a big kick out of that. I'll just say that.
Miguel and Robbie are in college. Johnny and Carmen are a little bit, worried about him. Something happened. It'd be awesome.
But
I was gonna say like there's no real reason to keep him at all, but if you were to do that idea that you were talking about,
mhm.
Nerporial, like that could work. But
Where
at the same time, it's like I don't know if you would, just because like season 6, it's like who's gonna be the real villain in the
Mhm.
next one? Because um I was on another stream after this, before this one, and Tom from Midnight's Edge was in the chat, and he mentioned that Silver could get out of you know jail or prison somehow or whatever he's going to, because he has a lot of money for a good lawyer.
Yeah, he can get off. He can
So
easily get off. So
so
you think you think Silver will come back?
I think so. I think there's potential for him to come back. I'm not sure. I don't know what they'll do with Kreese, but we can talk about that later. Plus you also have that Asian chick who was like right on um Silver's, like,
Oh, Kim,
yeah.
the granddaughter of the master. So
Yeah.
that little girl, I think, was her in the flashback.
It was. It was. And I think that they're going to point it out that she was favorable of Kreese because she asked about Kreese.
Mhm.
When she got off the plane, and you noticed when she was a little girl, Kreese gave her a little wink.
Yeah,
Yep.
So I
that's
think she
true.
was
Oh yeah.
closest to Kreese. I think she
Hmm.
was closest to Kreese than she was
To Silver.
Silver.
Okay, that makes sense. And what's funny is the actress is not that old, too. That's the funny thing. That whole thing took place in 1980, and the actor, I was looking up all the actors, and she's roughly my age, born in the mid
Hmm.
80s. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I did make a comment in one of the things when I was watching, like when they were fighting that woman, like when all the girls were going against them toe to toe in the finale. I was like, all they had to do was pull that long ass ponytail and knock her ass out.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Because it kept swinging. I'm like, how the hell do you guys keep getting beat? Just pull her fucking ponytail.
yeah,
Good
I
guys
know.
fight with honor in karate movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tori was on Cobra Kai, so I don't think she would fight with. She'll fight any way she wants.
Well, she was a
Yeah.
bad guy in that season. Now
Yeah.
she's a good guy. Good guys fight with honor.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, all I could think of was this reminds me of the beginning of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Like, is she recruiting like young kids to be the foot soldiers for Shredder? Like,
I could
That's
see
really
that.
what it is.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
if
The ninja
Leonardo doesn't punch Kenny in the face next season,
thing.
I'm gonna be a little upset. But
Yeah.
I don't know why it reminded me of the way she was talking about like recruiting and training kids. It made me laugh.
Yeah, Cobra Kai, and it's Cobra Kai and Ninja Turtles crossover.
Like
Uh,
like an
you know,
assassin trafficker, man.
they did a toy line for that, right?
That,
What?
Hmm.
For Cobra Kai versus TMNT, they did a toy line for that. You didn't see that?
No way. No, I did not.
Yeah. Who
Oh,
did it? McFarlane Toys.
I don't know. I don't think it was McFarlane. No, it was definitely not. It wasn't McFarlane, but I think you had like the four turtles up against like
You
four,
might
like
have to
a
Google
few
that.
other people from like the Cobra Kai like cast. Like I think was it like Dan? It was like Daniel versus Donatello, and then you had Miguel versus um like Miguel or whatever. I don't know. Like you had Raph versus Kreese, I think, and then like it was like Johnny versus Leo or something like that, or Michelangelo. I don't know.
holy shit, that is an actual thing. I just looked it up.
Yeah, they're pretty pricey though. That's why I haven't gotten any.
Okay.
Oh, I
The
love
only
that.
the only Turtles thing crossover that I know of is they once were there was a live action Ninja Turtle show on Fox Kids years ago in the 90s, and there
Shell
was this
Shock.
other show called Power Rangers in space,
Yes.
and so they crossed over with Power Rangers in space. I don't know how, but I remember watching that particular episode. I was like, oh, how is this going to play out? And then I watched it. I was like, it's okay, I guess. but I'm sure like back then I was just like I could see fans getting super excited. Oh, what's gonna happen? Ooh. But now crossovers, I'm just like, ugh, I'm an adult. I'm older. I don't care so much.
Oh, I disagree. I feel like
It depends if it
the
works.
world has been missing the greatest potential crossover of all time,
Which
that
one?
being Jurassic Park and Fast and the Furious.
Oh my god. We must go faster.
Also, Top
they're
Gun
both.
Maverick and Mission Impossible is another one that Hollywood is a bunch of cowards for not giving us.
So
I'm
Tom Cruise would play two roles in that. He'd play Ethan Hunt and he'd play Maverick.
You telling me
same
that you
movie.
wouldn't watch a movie where Ethan Hunt calls down an airstrike from Pete Maverick Mitchell? I would see that movie 80 times.
I agree. That's not
I'd
you're not wrong.
I'm actually down more for the Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious crossover. I think that would work a little bit more for me anyway. Like the Top Gun and Mission Impossible one isn't too bad either. Plus, I mean, Universal owns Fast and Furious and Jurassic Park franchise, so that could work. And I'll say it. I wouldn't mind seeing I'd love to see a Karate Kid or a Cobra Kai crossover with Ghostbusters, since they're both owned by Sony. I think that'd be interesting.
What's funny was I remember watching Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters, a few years ago. I was thinking like they could make that they could adapt that, really flesh out the first movie into a TV show, and like just like include all the events of the movie, but add stuff to it. And I think it could work. And of course, keep keep a very equivalent cast, or heck, do something like Cobra Kai. I could see them doing something like that for Ghostbusters.
I
think there's
could
a rights
after
issue with that one, because I think Fox owns the television rights for that.
What, for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, because there was that Ghostbusters cartoon on.
the real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
I don't know, but I remember there was a Ghostbusters cartoon on Fox.
I think that's the
Or
one.
maybe it was WB.
All I remember is the one from the 80s. And actually, what's funny was I've seen the real Ghostbusters before I actually saw the movies themselves.
Really?
So, yeah. The real Ghostbusters was on like every morning, on every like Saturday or Sunday morning. And I used to watch it. I used to watch it when I was real young. And then I finally saw like Ghostbusters 2. And then I saw the original. So I have more of a history with Ghostbusters 2 than the first one. So. But I got a super sticker from Tatsu-sama for 5. What does CHF stand for? CHF.
Chinese pesos.
That's a kick-ass name.
US dollar.
It is.
Swiss. I think it's CHF is Swiss franc. Yeah, convert. It's. I think it's Swiss franc. Yeah, Swiss franc. So. I feel like, yeah, I like how they call Terry Silver a Bond villain, and when I hear Swiss francs, I just think James Bond for some reason. Maybe it's because maybe one particular movie takes place in Switzerland. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Just saying. But let's talk about. Why don't we talk about Chosen now? Chosen here is the mole. He is sizing up. Trying to size up Cobra Kai, and he's there, and obviously all these senseis are competing for one job, and I forget what he says to Silver that has Silver invite him for dinner, but he gets invited for dinner, and they're having looks like they're having an array of whitefish and whatever. And very, very beautiful looking. That's what you have when you have a chef, and you keep in good shape. That's the amount of food you should be eating. So they're eating, they're talking, and then it gets to a point where like Chosen's just acting all negotiable. He's trying to act like, oh, I'm not quite interested. I'm curious, and it gets to a point where stupid. Come on, video. It gets to a point where he gives him he tells him the story of this scotch. So This one Japanese guy goes to Scotland, learns how to make scotch, brings it back to Kyoto, where Nintendo was located. Just saying, and and it becomes one of the best, most popular scotches in the world. And what does so they raise a toast, and instead of saying kampai, and the reason why I know about kampai is because I watch enough anime. I was like, he says kari, and kari, I've never heard kari, but then they explain in this episode that kari is only said in Okinawa. And that's how Silver figures out that he's chosen. He's with Daniel. He's in cahoots with Daniel. And then they get into this awesome little fight at the end. Oh, stupid. Let me move this.
I'm a big fan of the implication that there's a karate-based Cold War going on between Korea and Japan. That's like being fought between, Daniel and Terry Silver in Southern California.
Speaking of Cold War, Johnny connected to the German representative of was it Seikei? Was it the worldwide tournament called was it called Seikei?
Sakai
the Karate World Cup.
Yeah, it's called Sekai Taikai. And he's showing them what he does, and I forget how it was brought up, but the German judge was like, yes, I love Rocky. Rocky is the reason why my country got unified.
Yeah,
so they said Rocky ended the Cold War.
Yeah,
and he did. As far as I'm concerned, it did. I mean, come on.
100%.
In the movie, you have freaking Gorbachev himself, who recently passed away, stands up and claps when Rocky's like, if we can be together, you can be together, we can all be together. And they just like, yeah. At least I think that's what it said. I don't remember exactly.
And
that was great.
And that was after he got all that watermelon in his face.
Yes. Which I did include. But yeah, that was I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, there's so many, like, they've done Rocky segments in the show. Obviously, Johnny's a big Rocky fan, and this season they did a Top Gun sequence with with Carmen. But Carmen was dreaming. And I thought, oh boy. Like that was like that was the second time I've seen something like Sunny in Philadelphia did it first. They already did the volleyball, the shirtless volleyball, playing Kenny Loggins playing with them boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hearing that. It's just like, wow. I mean, how many shows are going to pay homage to that moment in the movie? So, but yeah, they did that in this too. I think last season was the one where they did Rocky 3, where he was like running and he was trying to kick in the water and everything. Johnny, I think it was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, Johnny's training montage.
Okay. Yeah. To prepare for the fight with LaRusso, because last season all the kids built a deck. I think it was I don't know if it was an Okinawan deck, but it was like an Okinawan type of deck for doing all the sparring and everything, which I thought was awesome.
It was an Okinawan sparring deck, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Okay, and then of course it was Hawk that designed it, because Hawk is but what would take away the mohawk. Hawk is basically a brain, so he was the one that actually designed it, and because he lost the mohawk, that was how he contributed, and of course he had to gain his confidence back, and voila. He fights the perpetrator, Robbie, and wins. Honestly, I was expecting Robbie to win last season instead of him, but then it made sense, because I think the guys fight would have been first, and if Robbie would have won, then they wouldn't have had the female fight. So when you think about logic, makes sense that Robbie lost for that reason.
I also thought it was great because Robbie was clearly conflicted, and Hawk was on it.
He was steadfast. He was steadfast. It's like I want this more than anything. And yeah, Robbie was conflicted because of Kenny, I believe, because of what he saw Kenny doing during the tournament, and that's what led that's what led Robbie to leave Cobra Kai after that. So, and of course, make up with Johnny because he finally understood what Johnny was kind of going through with him. So. But yeah, so Chosen. But yeah, going back to Chosen, the whole car, like him fighting, just him taking out all the senseis, and I think Silver's just there, and I don't know, I don't think he clapped, but it looked like he wanted to clap. He's just standing there watching, and okay, no, we're too far there.
You could clearly tell that Silver was studying every single move that he made.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing about martial arts shows is that they usually those who are like like the last ones to be in tournaments, they usually take the time to study. Like the villains in particular, take the time to study the moves of the heroes. And like there was a moment in the show Rurouni Kenshin where it was the beginning of the second season, the Kyoto arc, and the hero Kenshin is fighting a big giant hulk of a fighter, and the fighter cannot land a single hit on him. Like the Kenshin is simply dodging his moves, and the villain is watching this whole thing directly, and he tells the hulking fighters, like, if you don't land a single hit on him, I'm going to kill you. And then that's when Kenshin decides to, expose one of his moves and hits the guy just to keep him from being killed. So that just goes to tell you, like you said, it just made me think of it. Made the stuff was very anime. Once again, this whole thing just spells anime to me, very Japanese. I love it for that reason. So. But this scene was awesome. This was one of Chosen's best moments, and and I just loved how this really established it. I just love seeing Silver just stand there like nothing happened. That's what I really want to that's what I really wanted to see. So,
I feel like you should have clapped, like a slow, dramatic clap as Chosen left. Like, let's not be subtle about this. Let's lead into what we are here.
Absolutely. So I think so what's basically left is this is the end of episode 2. So Chosen basically teams up with Daniel, and they're like, we need there's a point where I think Silver's like, you think you know a bunch of people? Well, I know more people. And then the first thing they think is Mike fucking Barnes.
Yeah.
And I was like, the first thing I was very curious going into this season was, how are they going to use Mike Barnes? I honestly was hoping Mike Barnes would still be a prick. And I thought the final fight at the end
wasn't
would be
a
him
great guy.
Barnes. Yeah, so it was. I was surprised when they made him a good guy in the beginning. Like, he was just he moved on with his life, was no longer had Silver's meat hooks in him, and was just running a furniture shop. But here's the thing, we did get to see a crossover fight, a fight that people probably for years have wondered. The main bad guy of season 2, or Daniel's nemesis in part 2 versus Daniel's nemesis in part 3. And we got to see it. We got to see Mike Barnes have a little sparring match with Chosen. And I'll be honest,
that was cool, and it was funny as hell, though.
Yeah, because Chosen just kind of rushed in. He thought that I don't remember what exactly happened, but he just kind of rushed in thinking that there was already trouble, and he ends up beating everybody else up. I think he ends up beating all of his men up. He's like, oh, there's blood and everything. He's like, oh, we have to clean up the blood and I'm looking for that scene right now, actually. What did you guys think of Mike Barnes' role in this season? I was kind of disappointed.
Oh,
I
loved it.
yeah,
I liked it for what we got, but I really hoped we got more of him.
I loved it as well. I hope we get more of him next season. Next season, because it would be badass if they decided if they win the Saikai Taikai and they decided to open up a like Miyagi or whatever does across global that Mike joins them because he no longer has a furniture shop. So what is he gonna do? And he's not a kid anymore, so he can't be banned from karate. He wasn't banned from teaching, so it'd be cool if he joined Johnny and oh my brain LaRusso and
Daniel.
Chosen Daniel and Chosen as like the head senseis.
So I think one of the fundamentally best parts of this show is the humor and its willingness to laugh at itself. And one of
Oh
the
yeah,
ways that it does that the best is by having like the complete insanity that is the plot exposed to normal people. So
I mean,
when Mike
look
Barnes,
at this right here. Look at this right here. It's perfect for what you're talking about. Like people are just watching, just like ooh, like it's like they're watching a TV show instead of
Yeah, that
yeah,
one guy looks like he's about to go, damn.
yeah. Sorry, go. Sorry, Alex.
well, it's they were doing it for a long time with Johnny's wife, but Johnny's wife now kind of seems to be on board with like, all right, this is my life now. I'm just going to be in the middle of this. But Mike Barnes was great in that he was like, just what the fuck is wrong with you people? I got
Yeah,
attacked by two nut jobs on one side of this struggle, and then Silver burned my fucking business down on the other side of the struggle. He's like, I'm just a guy. And my life got destroyed because Silver was playing Game of Thrones and leaving traps for Johnny, like, or not Johnny, Daniel. Like,
Game of Senseis. That's what I call
yeah,
it.
like, I thought that was great. And then I also loved that he was like, you know what? My life is destroyed. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna snort a bunch of cocaine and I'm gonna go beat the shit out of the people who ruined my life. If every character in fiction had my life is ruined, so I'm going to snort a bunch of cocaine about it and go fight somebody, our television would be incredible in 2022.
I agree.
Dude, I cannot just get as soon as you said that, I can't get Al Pacino Scarface out of my head. He
Right?
snorts all that freaking cocaine, grabs a gun, and
Oof. There we go. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Oh,
But
I
yeah, I feel that like he was only in this episode, and then he was in the he was in the
last one.
finale. He was in the finale, and we see him very briefly, like that fight in Silver's Manor. Like he got knocked out right away. He got knocked out by one of the other sensei, so it was just pretty much Johnny and Chosen fighting everybody. So Chosen went to fight Silver himself with the well, Silver had the sword
With
and
weapons.
yeah, they had weapons. He's like, I'm not afraid to kill. I was just like, oh no. I'm like, oh no, I hope no one dies. Because like I said earlier in Runner, the stream that you were on earlier, I said the one thing that I don't think fits is that I don't think characters should die in Cobra Kai, because Cobra Kai to me is a martial arts version of a slice of life type of genre. Like
Yeah.
it's to me it's just like standard everyday people living their lives, and things like death are not an everyday occurrence, unlike like shows like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or stuff like that. This show's
Yeah.
more not like that. It's just even the villains, same with the villains.
You have
So
a good point. Like, I think it should happen maybe naturally, I guess. Because, like, Because I've heard some people say like, oh, like the fact that people didn't die in this season means that there's no stakes. It's like I disagree. The way I like the tension that this show has does tell you that yes, there are stakes in this.
Oh, there are stakes. I mean, people can lose money. They could lose their jobs, their livelihoods.
I mean, Miguel has fucking back busted at the end of season 2.
Yeah, yeah. I
How
was
could there
like,
be
I was
no
like,
stakes?
holy
If they lose the fight, then all those children get trafficked to the shredder and attack Master Splinter. Like, there's clearly stakes here.
they get trafficked all the way to New York City. So they go from the valley, go from San Fernando Valley, all the way to the bowels of Manhattan, and learn how to be part of the Foot, be part of Ninja
Yeah.
Thieves.
I mean, that's basically what they implied with the spread of the institution.
We're
and
not
then-
going to let you take over the Valley, Silver. We're not. It's a funny stake, but you know what? It's still stakes. Even if it's funny, it's still entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, but yeah, I felt like I'm guessing Mike Barnes was kind of added in as like an after. I'm think he was more of an afterthought.
I don't think he was an afterthought, in my opinion. I think that they wanted him to come back, but it must have had to been like a scheduling conflict, so they could only have him for like a little bit here and here. You know what I mean? Because he was probably working on The Bold and the Beautiful or something during the time they were filming.
He works. He's on that. He's on that program.
Yeah, Bold
I
and the
didn't know that.
Beautiful, and he was filming 2 movies with Bruce Willis.
Oh, he's
I
a
was-
Bruce Willis shit movie guy. That's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what other things like has the guy who played Mike Barnes like been in?
Sean-
Like,
Sean Cannon. Yeah, I was curious. I didn't even
Cannon.
think he was still acting, to be honest.
yeah,
I thought he
what-
was literally like seeing him run the furniture store in this show. I thought that's what Sean Cannon did in real life too.
Yeah.
After
The only
Back to his
reason-
house.
The only reason why I know that is because a few days ago I was like, I watched an interview about the guy who plays Mark Barnes, and he was mentioning his schedules and what he's been up to in filming and stuff, and what went down when he was filming this.
Wow. I didn't realize we were living in a world where 5 years ago, Mike Barnes was the most successful actor to come out of Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Strange world.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Troy was a Disney Channel kid. She was on that show Bunked.
Oh, you mean Tori?
Oh, Tori.
Tori, yeah, sorry. Terry Tori. I'm bad with T names. But yeah, she was on Bunked.
Yeah, she's been in a couple of things over in Disney Channel. I remember that because I remember seeing her in this, and I'm like, oh, she was from Disney Channel. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I never really watched Disney Channel, so I'm like, I didn't know like what exactly she was in, but like I was like, yeah, it's her.
She kind of has the look of somebody who was like sexually harassed by a Disney executive 8 years ago. I could see it.
Damn.
God. We gotta go that dark.
I mean, he's not. I mean, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
No.
No.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Speaking of the kids, it seems like they're all really starting to age out. Like I was looking up their ages today. Like the girl that plays Samantha, what was her name? Mary Mauser. Every time I hear her name,
yeah.
every
Mary
time I hear
Mauser.
her name, I think of Mario, especially Mario 2. You know, Mauser. Get it? Okay.
Bowser.
Well, no, there's a villain named Mauser. It's a mouse that throws bombs at you and wears sunglasses. That's Mauser.
In Mario?
Mario 2, Super Mario 2,
Oh, I didn't know.
Mm-mm.
and in the old cartoon, But after that, no. After that, hasn't been anything else. But
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's. But Mary Mauser is like 26 years old. She's 26. She's already 26 years old. So I think next season is fine time for them to
Graduate.
and probably, I wouldn't say retire them, but if they continue, I don't know if they'll continue Cobra Kai after next season, but if they continue after these kids graduate, you know, Hawk and Miguel and Robbie and all of them, I'm curious if they're going to introduce more younger kids, like, you know, Kenny's age and Anthony's age.
I would like for
think-
Netflix to like after season 6, they'll make like a movie to like be like the final Cobra Kai thing. Like I think that would work very well.
Yes.
What do you think they should? What do you think it should be about? Do you think it should be like Karate Kid Part 4 or something?
Well, don't call it Karate Kid. Just call it Cobra Kai, and it'll be like, I don't want to say Cobra Kai Endgame because that seems, I don't know. I don't want it to. I don't.
What
not-
is
not
this?
like
Pretty
that.
Little Liars? Come on now, man. NK.
Yeah, I know. That was just an example. I don't want it to be called that. I'm just saying like the final, like Cobra Kai, like the final chapter of Cobra Kai is like what I would like the movie to be, you know?
Cobra Kai, the final countdown.
The final
Lock it in.
chapter, Cobra
Or
Kai,
the
the final
final-
chapter where Daniel, Johnny, Mike Barnes, heck, let's bring in Kreese. All of them are team up to fight Jason and kill Jason once and for all at Camp Crystal Lake.
Now
Let's
I
do
got
it.
that song from the 80s stuck in my head.
The final countdown. Yeah,
That's
I've
what I
not
think
seen
the final
the movie
countdown.
The Final Countdown though. There's a movie called The
Yeah.
Final Countdown.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep.
Time
So
travel.
I'm
movie.
gonna pose this question to you on the subject of the end of Cobra Kai. Would you be down for a Mr. Miyagi story?
A prequel? Yeah.
I'm curious if they're going to do they're going to show a Miyagi moment with another actor. I don't know. Do you think they'll do that? Do you think they'll do that, or do you think they won't? They won't touch it.
I don't think they should. That's just my
No.
opinion.
I mean, they did do a Johnny deep fake, so who knows?
Yeah, you can do a deep fake, but like, and maybe you can put in Pat Morita's like voice lines or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, I don't like that, to be honest. Like, let's let the dead lie. I don't.
Let's
maybe
let's
I'm
leave
unique
them.
about that.
Let's leave them alone on that. I thought I honestly initially I thought it was awesome to see Tarkin in Rogue One, but then the more I think about it, just like the fact that they're bringing people.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the fact that they're bringing back people is just like it's getting to a point where I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable.
I think
What do you
they
think
should just handle Mr. Miyagi like they did so far, where like Daniel's like talking to him in his grave or like his picture on the wall or whatever. Like,
Oh yeah,
I think that really shows that he has a presence.
Yeah, we
Just-
said that in the last stream that he has Mr. Miyagi, despite not being in the show physically at all, has a much bigger presence than well characters in another franchise that I don't want to get into that ends in wars. I'll say, especially one who walks on the sky. I'll say him. Yeah, and heck, even the solo guy too. So.
Solo.
Well, we were talking about characters, and I think I can speak for the vast majority of people watching this show that if we have to retire Sam, I'm not gonna complain a lot. Like if we need to bounce her out of here, we can.
So Sam is not Sam is not your favorite character?
No, Sam can get out of the club if I'm making the call here.
So what do you think of I'm trying to think of her arc now that we brought up Sam. What do you think of her arc? So they tried to do a thing a sensory depth. So she has a sensory deprivation tank experience, and she sees her evil self, which I thought was pretty cool actually. Her fighting her other self, her wicked self, so to speak. And then she gets out and then she's like, okay, because of this, I need some time. So Miguel, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, it was a C minus dealing with trauma arc. You could have cut it out of the season entirely, and I wouldn't have complained. I'm pretty much done with the show using her for relationship drama. We've run through every possible combination of hookup, breakup, with the main
Triangles,
cast.
yeah, and
Yeah.
creating, like you said, creating conflict. So the whole Tori conflict really took a head when she kissed Miguel, when Miguel and Tori were together, and then that's what's caused the fight in the school, where Tori literally seizes the office and says on the intercom, "I'm coming for you, bitch," or something.
Yeah. We also have to factor in that it's not just guys our age, people our age watching this show. They were also trying to go for a teenage demographic, you know.
Yeah, because the kids in this show are the same age as kids who are now in high school and college.
Yeah, so they had to have that whole will they, won't they? Oh my god, 90210 bullshit, you know.
Yeah. Have any of
and
you guys
I get
seen
that, but we've reached the end of that. I feel like at this point, and we can easily replace Sam with the far more enjoyable Asian girl and just sub her into all these story arcs. Who
Yeah.
can actually fight and isn't super annoying.
Yes.
what was her name again? Devin? Was her name Devin or
Yes.
Yeah, Devin.
Okay.
Mhm.
What'd you think of her? I thought she was pretty interesting in how they introduced her in season 4. So she was on the debate team, and she took like a book and she ripped it in half, and then threw it at the other kid, or threw it at the other debater or something. And then Johnny sees this like, oh, we gotta get her. So
I think they didn't write her as good this season as they wrote her last season, because she was a tough guy. She was like in your face, ready to go, and then this season she was kind of mousy a little bit. You know?
Why did she?
Yeah, they
why
didn't
was
give
she
her
gone
much.
from Eagle Fang? I did not catch that. Why was she gone from Eagle Fang? She was
Prob-
with this.
I
She was
Eagle
with
Fang
those.
shut
She was with
down.
those woke blue. I don't want to say woke, but the the kid that was like, oh, we gotta stop violence, and from season 1, that kid.
What-
Yeah, she was
that
with
same-
Pansy Karate because Eagle Fang shut down.
yeah.
Oh,
Eagle
okay. So
Fang
she.
shut-
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so so she was like one of the few people that actually tried to
I
go
thought-
to another place.
I did think it was kind of weird, like, oh, like at that point, it's like now she just joins Cobra Kai like randomly after like she was an Eagle Fang. I thought that was kind of like
Well, I
strange.
remember
like,
they took over. Cobra Kai took over that dojo. They kind of they bought the guy out, and that was it.
well, I know that, but like
She wanted to beat Tori.
it's the yeah,
Probably.
it's the I guess it was the way it was like dealt with that felt kind of odd.
Yeah.
Remember, she
So
never had a real deep connection to Eagle Fang. She was a mercenary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she joined at the very end of last season, so yeah, so she didn't have that, like you said, she didn't have that connection, so that's why it was easier for her to move on to another dojo, as opposed to
and
everybody else.
She was also characterized as extremely competitive.
Yes.
I didn't.
Yeah, she was more not whiny, but a little bit pathetic this season.
I think part of that was due to the fact that people didn't like how she went from no training to pretty badass immediately. So they kind of wanted to take her down a peg, and by having Tori kick her ass, she kind of went down a peg.
Yeah.
I almost I struggle with it because it was sort of inconsistent with what they showed her before. However, I didn't love what they did with her before. So, what's better, continuing with the problem or developing the inconsistency and fixing it this season? And I also thought they did a fairly decent job of establishing that even though she's not the best, she's going to keep going at it, which isn't it an admirable quality and one that I like in karate side character,
And characters in general, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. trying to. So like the one thing, the one arc that I think she had was, it was her. And so first it was started with the training that Cobra Kai had was, her and Tori had to take. There was something in the middle that they had to take. I don't know if it was a, was it
It
like
was
a
just a
stick?
stick.
Was it just a stick?
Yes, it was
And they
a
had to
bamboo stick.
a bantha,
A
stick?
bamboo stick.
Oh,
Yeah.
bamboo stick. I was like, okay. If you had said gaffy stick, you know, I thought Star Wars, or it was a gaffy stick, or yeah, something like that. What was I saying? But they had that, so that was the start of her training with her. I don't know if that really paid off, but it was the second training that where they split everybody up, and she was paired with Tori, and they had to team up to fight the sensei, and in other words, Kim something. I never remember her full name. I'll call her Lucy Liu. Call her Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu is perfect.
Yeah. So they
Yeah, that's
fight. They
fine.
fight Lucy Liu, and they get their butts kicked because they have to work. The whole point of them is to work together. Of course, it pays off when they fight her at the end in the finale, and they manage to take her down. So I'm curious if we're going to see Lucy Liu again. Do you think we'll see her again at the tournament?
Yeah.
At the
Absolutely.
Sekai Takai?
She'll be the main bad guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
she'll be alongside Kreese.
I don't. I
Kreese
think,
is getting old, man.
I think Kreese is on a redemption arc. I know a lot of people don't believe me, but I feel Kreese is going to be redeemed in some way.
He could be. They're kind of setting him up for that, so yeah, it's a possibility.
I think if you know what the type of ending I think Kreese should get. I think Kreese should. Okay, so Runner, you have to leave me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got stuff to do. I really hate leaving now, but
Okay.
I'll try to watch the replay whenever I can. But thank you for having me on. This was fun. I wish I could say more about it, but I got to rewatch the entire thing again in order to get my mind fresh, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything you want to plug before you go?
Check out my YouTube channel, Twitter. Tomorrow I should be on Fanzine's channel for the Physical Media Show. You can follow me over there. I'm gonna complain about like one thing there tomorrow that I had a problem with while I was at my Best Buy. There was a certain movie that they did not have that I was highly anticipated of getting.
How large is the movie rack of the movie shelf of at Best Buy now? Because every time I go, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
The one near me has been very consistent. That's why Greg and Tom get really pissed off that mine is holding up better than others.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I'll have to one of these days I'll have to drop by and check out that Best Buy. Me and my buddy used to go to different Best Buys to see what movies or games that they had. Well, mainly movies that they had for years. So
I was gonna say, yeah, you can. I'll tell you where it is. Maybe we can meet over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was one Best Buy that was like near my college that I go to.
Okay.
And now all they sell now are like fridges and just like houseware stuff. Like it's not like any of the, and like maybe like TVs and stuff. Like they sell no physical media over there now, which
I
is
see.
sad.
Okay.
Mhm.
So all right. So everybody check out. So Fanzine is the channel that you do the physical media on.
Fanzine vids.
Okay. I did buy a couple of movies. Despite being strapped for cash. I bought I bought the motion picture, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and The Wrath of Khan, the
on
the
4K?
director's cut for both of them. Yep, 4K.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I bought the Predator collection on 4K recently,
Nice.
as well as Tax Collector, and I bought season 24 of South Park on Blu-ray.
Oh, I forget how long that show's been on. I was a kid when that show came. I was a kid when that show came out. So,
but I bought a bootleg version of the Blu-ray seasons 1 through 22 at the convention we were at near Port Hill.
oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so now I had to get season 23 like on like the actual like Blu-ray that like was distributed by Paramount and Comedy Central and all of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. All right. Well. Runner, take it easy.
All right, you too, man. Have a good one.
Peace.
So,
Yeah.
so
All right.
Notorial, I'm curious to see, what is your ideal ending for Kreese? You started talking about it.
Kreese for me, I feel that he should, because of how he feels about Johnny, I think he should somehow save Johnny's life, or at least give his life for Johnny. That's kind of how I see. So if there was a character that would die, I think Kreese would be the one that would die.
100%. Kreese's actor is 74. Let him die with his boots on.
Yeah, Martin Cove, and I'll be honest, as much as I mean, Kreese, like he acts like a villain. I don't think he's a villain, especially the way the show has really fleshed him out. Now, if you've just seen the Karate Kid movies, yeah, he's the villain, especially in the first one, and especially the third one. But after seeing him quite a bit, we get to know him and how he truly feels. He cares about Johnny. I think he cares about. He really cares about Johnny, and he wants things to be right, even though. But he keeps making bad decisions. So, and Johnny hates him for it. And I think that there's going to be a point where Johnny doesn't hate him anymore. That's kind of what.
Fascinating. And Joss Whedon talks about this sometimes, and I know we're not supposed to mention him, but it talks about how in a good show, every character thinks they're the main character.
Yeah.
You know, in Firefly, Jane thinks he's the main character, not Malcolm Reynolds.
Yeah.
And Kreese is the perfect example of that. Kreese thinks he's doing the right thing. Kreese thinks the world needs his version of Cobra Kai, that he needs to toughen up the kids of this day and age, and that he's approaching it the right way. And phenomenal character work. How are we living in a world where the best character work in media day is on a fucking Karate Kid knockoff? Like, I keep asking that question about the show, but they keep bringing it up.
I think it's because it's because the writers, the creators of the three creators of the show are big fans, and they want to do right by it, and that's what I think is the main reason. And plus they know how to write. They know how to write stories, and they've learned how to do it. So they put in the work, they put in the effort, and yeah.
Yeah, and they gambled a lot on this, because this could have turned out to be like some shitty fanfic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I was concerned. I watched the first season when it was on YouTube Red, just out of sheer curiosity because of my history with it. I was like, oh, I'll check this out, and I was just like, whoa, this is actually good. Like the fact that Johnny has a redemption arc just drew me in right away. And then you have Daniel. That moment, like I wasn't sure if I was going to like Daniel in this show, but then when he went and visited Mr. Miyagi, I was like, oh boy, I have to keep watching this. This show's fucking great. So yeah. And so I got a question. What do you guys think of the use? And one thing I've noticed in this particular season 5, you hear a lot more F-bombs this season. And literally like when Kreese and when Kreese is visited by Johnny and Daniel, they're like, oh, tell us what Silver's up to and we'll get you the best lawyer money can buy. And they give him the number, and the number says, fuck you, you've been fucked. Or you fucking
no mercy, motherfucker.
No
I'll
mercy,
put it this way. I fucking loved it.
I loved it coming from Daniel.
Yeah.
Because it shows that Daniel is finally getting off some of his holier than thou bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just funny, like, because like one of the few times I've heard them say the F word in the show was coming from those kids, the lower, like these, there's the A tier kids in the dojo, then there's the B tier, then there's the C tier. So like the two nerdy kids, the little Asian kid, and the nerdy white kid who reminds me of one of the kids in remember the show Step by Step,
Uh-huh.
TGIF. He
I
reminds me
know
of the
exactly which character you're talking about, that redhead. Mm-hmm.
not the redhead, the blonde. He's the blonde with the glasses.
Oh, he was blonde? I was
You guys are
thinking
talking about the same kid. He's a strawberry blonde.
Yeah.
Okay, strawberry. Okay, yeah. All right, but he reminded me of the kid from Step by Step years ago, and he was also in Beethoven. But yeah, but it was funny seeing them like saying there was moments where they just said the F word, like the Asian kid gets beat up at the car wash season 3. They're trying to raise money for Miguel's injury, and the Cobra Kai kid, or not was it? Yeah, Cobra Kai. They take the money, even though the money still ended up helping Miguel. They just took the money away just to be jerks about it. And say, hey, we're the ones that raised all this money for you. And then like the kid goes to them and is like, I've been those kids beat the fuck out of me or something. I forget how they put it, how they said it, but I heard that. I was like, I just started laughing. So
yeah.
I know Johnny's done just said a few F-bombs too. It's what's weird is what's weird is even though like Karate Kid's movies have been rated PG, I've been kind of okay with that in this regard. But when they do it in Star Trek, it's cringe. Like it's cringe, like beyond belief.
Well, it has to do with the sort of the universes involved and sort of our shifting standards. I mean, Karate Kid was originally a kids movie, and our society has now reached the point with profanity and language where, who's honest to God stopping an 11-year-old from watching a PG-13 movie anymore? Nobody.
Yeah, and what's stopping an 11-year-old kid from swearing? They probably swear more than adults.
Right. Well, I mean, shit. First grade is where you learn to swear nowadays in your modern public school system. So, what's the point? And then, but it's different in Star Trek because Star Trek shouldn't be influenced by our modern behavioral standards. The Star Trek society should be, the society of, I'm going to say 2400 or wherever the hell century they're in any current, version of the show.
Yeah.
So, Star Trek is supposed to be better than what we are currently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dragging it down from where we were when it first came out to where we are now is the opposite. Star Trek should be going up, not down. At least that's my feeling on the profanity issue.
That's exactly how I feel too.
Well, it also has to deal with the lack of FCC regulations. You don't have FCC on Netflix. You don't have FCC on Paramount. You know what I mean? That's all just broadcast regular TV that they regulate that shit.
Yeah,
so that's one of the reasons why they get away with it.
But my expectation is that if you're making a Star Trek show, you can say that the only reason that cultural impact on Star Trek was because of the FCC regulations. But regardless of where that sort of standard came from, the expectation to maintain that standard is still there because of Star Trek being the cultural icon that it is.
All right. But you also got to think it was probably those like nerd boys that have always wanted to make films. Like, dude, it would have been so cool if we got Picard or whoever saying fuck.
Yeah, however, I'm going to point out that, the best Star Trek captain in the entire show's history started out his run by basically calling Jean-Luc Picard a little bitch in a way that was both polite and professional.
Yeah.
So there's an expectation in Star Trek that, they can mean, Jean-Luc Picard, shut the fuck up, you little bitch, or I'm going to break you in half. But they're not allowed to say that. You need Avery Brooks to stand up and with menace and presence say, I will do my job as ordered, Commander, and bounce. Like,
what's funny is you're speaking of Captain Sisko. Captain Sisko, like they'd have to completely undo Captain Sisko if they ever bring him back to New Trek, which I unfortunately think they're going to try. Because one thing that Cisco
Oh,
never
no,
took,
man.
Cisco
Avery Brooks has
never,
a sense of
Cisco
self-respect.
never took shit from anybody, and if anybody put him in a bad position, they'd hear about it. Even Bashir and all of them, he didn't put up with shit. He didn't put up with his officers, which is the problem with New Trek, is that they always let these young ensigns or whoever, they always speak out of turn, and there's no discipline whatsoever. And especially Captain Pike, Anson Mount's Captain Pike's practically a friend boss instead of a captain who shouldn't be anything less than perfect.
Well, my sister has always put it like this: if we're ranking Star Trek captains, the rating goes Benjamin Sisko, James Tiberius Kirk, Benjamin Sisko's pimping hand. Doesn't matter. And she's open to switching 2 and 3 on a given day.
Yeah, and for me, it's Kirk is 1, and then Cisco is number 2.
Fair enough. Kirk is the kind of the OG. He gets it.
Yeah,
no objection to that ranking.
And then how people always there was always the Kirk versus Picard argument. Well, after Star Trek Picard and Patrick Stewart himself kind of ruined that.
James Tiberius Kirk never got called a baby back bitch on his own bridge. That's all I'm going to say to that.
Nope, he didn't. Not until Chris Pine played him.
Oh, we don't talk about Chris Pine.
But going back to Cobra Kai, so I thought, what do you think of Kreese's little arc? So he's working with Tori to try to undermine Silver by I think the first thing was just getting Silver to admit about the paying off the referee, which didn't do anything. He didn't deny it, but that would help later on though. And then I think the second thing was putting the thing in the mailbox. Or Tori was the one that put the thing in the mailbox saying that Kreese was framed by Silver. I don't think much of that happened. So it just got to a point where Tori just didn't want to even deal with this anymore.
His whole arc being behind bars and giving the information, it just felt kind of Hannibal Lecter to me, just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I was just reminded, hiding behind glass,
Well, the way he escaped too was very Hannibal Lecter. Like Hannibal Lecter pretended he was dead. Now, in the case of Hannibal Lecter, he was wearing somebody's face.
Yeah.
But in this case, it just I thought of Hannibal Lecter too when he pretended he was dead with the Jello. So the Jello paid off. So the Jello. Mm-hmm. So instead of blood, it was melted Jello that got
Yeah. To me, he was Hannibal Lecter, and Stingray was Luke Skywalker, and Revenge of the Skywalker, or whatever it's called. I forget. I didn't watch that shitty one.
Rise of the
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's how Stingray I felt was this.
That name of that movie is probably the biggest bait and switch ever. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. They're all dead.
More like Fall of Skywalker.
And then you have frickin' and then frickin' Rey's like, oh, I'm a Skywalker. You identify as a Skywalker? Shut the hell up.
Yeah. I will say, I think the best character moment in this season goes to Kreese. When Tori comes to him and asks him, about sticking with Cobra Kai and going to the World Cup, and she asks him what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, keep working to undermine Cobra Kai, or should I go for it and try to be the, try and use the money that I'm going to get from that I would potentially get from this tournament to take care of myself? And I was, I wasn't sure which way he was going to go, but he just basically looked at her and said, you would be an idiot to continue working to undermine Cobra Kai. You do you, girl. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Mm-hmm. And I think that was, when we say John Kreese isn't a villain, that's the moment that you point to as evidence of that being of him not being the cackling, maniacal, black mustache twirling bad guy.
Yeah, that he cares about Tori. He cares about Johnny, despite what he did. And first thing we see is that he regrets what he did. And he, at first, one of the earliest things he does in season 2 is he actually it was second place. He fixed the trophy that he broke in Karate Kid Part 2. So I think that was genuine, and that's kind of why that's why Johnny was willing to, let Kreese back into his life until they disagreed on how to run Cobra Kai, and then he ended up taking over. He ended up retaking over, and then Silver. Now Silver is more the mustache twirling villain, the maniacal laugh. I mean, he did in Part 3.
Mhm.
And I learned that Silver got created because Martin Kove wasn't available for all the scenes in Part 3, so that's where they created Terry Silver. So,
which may be in a series of brilliant creative choices.
Yeah,
that may be the best one.
Because I just loved him as a villain. Like, he was just a bad. He was just a good. I mean, he was just a bad guy you love to hate.
Yeah,
it was just fun. It was just fun them fighting him. Everybody fighting him was fun as hell.
Mm-hmm. They were like, so how can we get Kreese but make him rich and have a coke addiction?
Yeah,
create a new character. That's what you gotta do.
And I think it's great how this show. I mentioned broad characterizations before. This show does character alignments so well. Like,
yes.
Terry Silver is sort of the ultimate. I don't want to say lawful evil, but he's his public persona is that lawful evil, and then Johnny is the chaotic good guy.
Yeah,
Johnny is the lawful good guy, and then Kreese is sort of a chaotic evil, but he also maybe a neutral evil. Like, they all kind of fit into those.
What makes a character, or what makes evil chaotic evil? Is it just like there's no like planning? It's all like rage and
sort of like the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Well, because I was reading a thing about the different types of evil, and Morgoth, the evil, the predecessor of Sauron in Lord of the Rings. Morgoth was considered to be chaotic, I believe. His version of evil was chaotic.
Yeah, that's one of those things, though, that I feel like Tolkien almost doesn't fit into this because he does so much of the religious stuff. Like, when we say that Morgoth is a chaotic evil, what we mean is Morgoth is literally an entity of, chaotic creation / destruction.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, it's not really an alignment of a personality. This is your sort of God granted aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm rambling. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes more sense. So okay, so you think Kreese is a chaotic bad guy to a degree?
Yeah, but man, now that you say it like that, I feel like I'm almost wrong here, because chaotic neutral?
I was thinking anti-hero. Like, he's not a hero. He's like more villain than hero. But because like you said, he wants things done.
He's willing to do whatever it takes. He's willing to do whatever it takes to meet his goals. So that it might mean he's going to dabble into some questionable territory.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the perfect example of an anti-hero in my mind is the character Harry Callahan from Dirty Harry. And which I did a retrospective on not too long ago. Just saying. But he was willing to do stuff that most people would be like, no way, I'm not touching that. And that's why they call him Dirty Harry, because he does every dirty job that is required to.
And that's exactly what Kreese is. He's willing to do anything to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not as fucking psychotic as fucking Silver. but he's there, you know, and
Finish
he has
him.
his good moments and his bad moments.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with the show, though. The show is what fleshed that out. In the movie, you just thought he was just some psychotic motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But in the show, they fleshed it out more, which is better. You know, you got to see a softer side. You know, and sometimes you got a red herring during some of that stuff. That Dirty
Mhm.
Harry wound up being Red Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, tell us in the chat. Am I crazy, or what is Crease's character alignment?
I'm actually agreeing. I'm thinking anti-hero myself.
Yeah,
I agree, anti-hero. I was just
anti-hero. Yeah.
you see the 3x3 block. I was curious what people's
Uh
thoughts
huh.
were. Anyway,
So the other thing that we haven't talked about yet, I got about half an hour left, so want to touch on this quickly. What do you guys think of them? So to me, Johnny didn't do much other than going on that trip in the beginning of the season, and then just teaming up with Chosen later. And then we find out that he's gonna be a dad again. He's gonna be he's his Carmen's expecting a baby, and so this time he's really trying to clean up, and he doesn't want to be the screw up dad that he was with Robbie. So he's first thing we see him do is he cleans up. He completely cleans up his apartment. His apartment looks brand spanking new. And then I think the other big thing was him trying to get Miguel and Robbie to get along. That was the other big thing, because if he's going to have a child, he wants to have good role models, because that child is going to be related to both Miguel. It's going to be the half brother of both Miguel and Robbie. So that child that they have is going to connect them both regardless. So
Well, if you look at the whole entire series as a whole and looking at season 5 in itself, this whole thing has been about redemption in the
yes.
first place. So I think that's what he's trying to do. I mean, for years, he was struggling, but I think he got, for now, he got a hold on it. He doesn't want to be that shitty dad he was with Robbie. He doesn't want to be the shitty partner that he was with Allison or his ex-wife, and he really cares about her. You know what I mean? And he's putting his shit aside and trying to get the boys to put their shit aside so they could become a family.
And it's funny. Oh, sorry. I'll let you talk, Alex.
I was going to say I think that's he said it just about perfectly, but I'll also add I think this is sort of the capstone of Johnny's character journey. I don't mean to say that I think he's done growing at this point, but I don't think you can clean him up anymore and still have him be Johnny. He's not Johnny if he doesn't have those rough edges. So I don't know where you go from here with this character. I will also say that I pity the fool who picks on that child with Robbie and Miguel as half brothers and Johnny as a father.
Yeah, that kid's gonna be a future martial artist. He's gonna be known. He's gonna be learning quite a few things. So.
I don't think we even know the sex yet. I mean, Miguel's mom had a dream about the child, but they said it was too early to even know what the sex was when they went to go to the ultrasound.
Oh, that's right. So it could be either a boy. It could be either a boy or a girl.
Yeah, imagine if it's a girl though. Oh, her boyfriends are gonna be fucked.
Yeah. That's exactly what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and but it was it was pretty cool. So once all that got done, what do you guys think of? It was funny that we once again see the pawn shop guy. There's always like a joke. Like Johnny's always like he's bringing stuff in, and the pawn shop guy's just like he's like your computer doesn't work. Did you turn on the power? Wacky shit like that.
I actually thought it was cool that they didn't just give him that extra with the one line this season. I thought
Yeah, he was the one that inspired Johnny to, to clean up and to, or not to clean up, but to keep working because he did the Uber Eats. What do they call it? I forget what they call it. But he's been doing the Uber Eats. And he's getting he's getting 1-star reviews one after another. He's like, this job sucks. And the pawn shop guy was like, well, I'm not happy. I'm not exactly the happiest of campers running 3 pawn shops, but I do it for the sake of my family. And that's kind of what gets Johnny to, change his tune on that. So,
All right. Did pawn shop guy need a redemption moment? No,
I guess not.
But
I guess
No.
not. No, he's just a dick.
I'm glad that we had it.
Yeah.
How is this show flexing on every other show to the point that we are now doing redemption moments for scuzzy pawn shop guy? And then Rings of Power has $1 billion and has an unlikable main character that everybody wants to punt out a window. What are we doing here, guys?
I don't want to scare.
That's
I don't
why
want to scare viewers away.
That's why I don't watch that. Oh,
Like who thought that was a good idea to put in the show? Like they'd be like, please smile differently. Morford, please smile. Don't.
Yeah.
that sounded cringy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two more days. 2 more days till the next episode.
Yeah.
After this week is going to be halfway through the season. What happened? Zilch happened. So.
Yeah, I decided not to watch it after watching Geeks and Gamers. I'm sorry. I'm like, they told me what it was going to be. I was like, nope, no for me.
I heard. I mean, a lot of my tastes align with theirs and their products and stuff. But I still try to keep an open mind. That's why I decided to go and see the Rings of Power in the theaters for free. I didn't pay for it for myself, and this was me the whole time. Oh, I hear music. I feel something. Oh, now I'm back to this. I'm a sucker for choir and chorus and everything. So when they played some choir, so when you hear some singing, some chanting, I got a few goosebumps. But the rest of the music, that was probably the one redeemed. That was probably the one thing that I actually liked. Everything else was I was just like,
So what were your favorite small moments of this season? Like the things that like made you go yay or made you laugh?
I'm trying to remember. Well, did the whole
German Rocky guy?
That made me
Carmen
laugh.
Top Gun dream sequence.
Yep.
The solution to
couch.
fixing the Johnny or the Robbie and Miguel's animosity.
That made me that just made me. I was just like so happy to seeing them hug, seeing both Robbie and Miguel hug Johnny as they find out that they're going to be half brothers.
Yeah, I love that. And also when we thought he was going, spoilers, when we thought that dude was dead, I cried. I cried when
I
saw that blood.
I was like, no, he's not dead. He can't be dead.
No, but tears. But then I saw he was alive. But still, I did cry when I saw that. He looked like he was dead in the pool with the blood, all his blood in the pool. I couldn't stop. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and what's funny was I was listening to Prophet and Gray were talking about the series. And then I hear them say, "Oh, a character dies." I was like, "Okay, I'm clicking off. I can't listen to any more of this." That's why I swore I heard Prophet say that someone died. That's for the whole season I was watching. I was like, "Oh, who's gonna die?" And then we see Chosen bleeding in the freaking pool. I was like, "Oh no, not him, please!" But no, but then he comes back. He's barely hanging on, but he comes back. So I was like, thank you. So the last thing I want to see is characters in this show to die. That's the
my favorite,
unless it's truly earned or is meaningful. So
yeah, I also loved it when
Yeah.
Johnny
Sorry, go ahead.
dissed White Claw. I loved it. When he dissed White Claw, I hate White Claw. I was so happy.
I see every event I go to now, like every time my friends are having like a party, they always have it's either beer or White Claws. And I'm not a big alcohol drinker, so I'm just like, can I have like a Diet Coke or water or something? I'm just like, ugh. I've tried to have White Claws, and they're like 100 calories, and they taste like nothing. I'm just like, I'm not gonna.
I always thought White Claws were a pussy drink. That's why I didn't like it. I was like, yes, Johnny agrees with me. He hates White Claw. I hate it too. Even though it was funny, he was like, I'm running on whiskey and White Claw, bitch. And I was like, oh, fuck. He's redeeming it. No, don't redeem it.
What about the part where they're at the country club and they run into Silver? Daniel runs into Silver, and of course Silver's like, "You're playing with fire, Danny boy." And then Chosen comes. He's like, "Well, I'm the gasoline."
Yeah, I love
that.
it.
I laughed really hard when I heard.
He had the best one liner.
And then you know what Silver did? He's like, he laughed. He's like, "Their drinks are on me." I'm like, if I heard that, I'd buy their drinks too.
Yeah, and then they buy the most expensive tequila. My favorite part was when they were deciding to go to Silver's house, and Chosen was like, "Yes."
Yeah, they were all like, that was the White Claw and the whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, little kid Johnny, that would have been a nightmare of his. Like when they were all evil before they were redeemed. If he saw all his evil enemies like back to back, like standing together.
Yeah,
that's very true.
He probably would have wound up in a mental hospital.
We got to see the bad boys from 1, 2, and 3 get together to go into Silver's house and fight him. So Mike Barnes gets knocked out right away, so he's out for like 99% of the fight. So it's basically Chosen goes after Silver. They have their fight. Chosen has I think those are Sai that Raphael uses. Those are called Sai, right? Okay.
Size, yeah.
That was awesome, by the way. I just love that.
It was very Three Stooges.
It was shot very like a Japanese samurai, like a samurai film.
Yeah.
Shambara.
Yeah.
Almost. Like I wanted to see the side. I wanted to see them fight from the side. So whenever they kept changing the camera so that you only saw, their faces from behind the other character, I was like, I want to see them both. I want this to be big. I want to see the fight. Kind of like how Luke Skywalker fought Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. With the camera moving, to the side, so that you get the full frame and then them in the center.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of
I kind of had the same thought. If we're gonna do a samurai shot, I don't even care that it doesn't make sense. Give me a rising orange sun that they're battling in front of. Like, embrace what we are.
Yeah, exactly. I also love, even before the fight even happened, they had a Three Stooges moment of how the hell they were going to open the door.
And then the door was just open. It was unlocked. A Three Stooges moment would be they're like 1, 2, and then someone would open the door and they'd be like 3, and then they'd run in, they'd fall on the floor. That's
yes.
right there.
I will say that Mike Barnes had great lines, though. Even though his screen time was limited, he had great lines. I loved his like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then I'm gonna come back for you.
Yeah, and then of course, so Johnny was left to fight all 6 of, I think it was 6 of Kim's goons, and like I remember, like the one thing I was kind of, I mean, it was cool to see him beat them all, but at the same time, him and Chosen earlier had a hard time fighting one of them, and that's kind of what made me excited. Like, oh, these guys are good. I was like, how are they going to handle this? So I thought what was going to happen was like Miguel or like Johnny would bring like everybody, LaRusso, all the kids to fight the 6 of them or the 7 of them with Kim herself, and it didn't quite happen. It didn't quite happen the way I thought it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like but they did put up enough of a fight that I was still I didn't think that they were useless. Mm-hmm. Steve Prophet of the Dragon will disagree with me. They felt they were kind of useless at the end, but
There was a lot of blood this season.
Yes.
There was.
Yeah.
And when he does that initial slash with the sword, and you see the shot of the sword with the blood dripping from it, that's straight from freaking anime. That's straight from freaking
Yes.
like what's the Ninja Scroll or freaking Samurai X, Trust and Betrayal, one of those shows, one of those animes, you know. So there's once again like a whole lot of anime. There's a whole lot of anime that was really drawn upon in this.
Well,
Which I
it's
think
not
is maybe the reason that I don't mind that. Like in 90% of shows, I would just be like, oh great. Now that they're in a big group, the lieutenants are all weak. In this show, you know what? We're a fucking martial arts film. The bad guys grouped up at the end can be weak, and the main character can overcome his injuries and the large group of people with the power of loving his family. Okay, we've established we're this kind of show.
Yeah.
Let's follow the track. Let's not pretend we're anything else.
Overcoming adversity. Let's overcome adversity.
Yeah, we end every season with a giant melee of karate teenagers. Okay, this isn't Game of Thrones.
No, it's not. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Exactly.
Different kind of show.
Exactly. I was reminded of 1960s, 70s samurai movies with the blood.
Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub is a great example.
Yes.
Which I do own. I own. If it's too bad Runner's not here, I'd be like, I own the Criterion collection.
I had the one
Lone Wolf and Cub films, and that is like you want to see arms being chopped off. You want to see red paint for blood splurting out of people's limbs. That's a perfect movie to watch, and you see blood on the sword and everything.
One that was called the Golden Cradle, or it was something with cradle in it, translated, and that was bloody. Like this dude like jumped down from like high up and like put the samurai sword right through his skull, and bloodshot everywhere. It was I was like, wow, they shot movies like that back in the day.
Oh yeah. What's funny was the Lone Wolf and Cub is there's a cradle in that movie too. It's about a father and son who are on the path of mayhem, or like in the movie they say it translates to hell. So, but yeah, there was that, and of course, what was that a big influence on? Kill Bill, and you see a lot of Kill Bill with obviously Lucy Liu and her goons. And then, of course, Terry Silver made me think a little bit of David Carradine's Bill, kind of. A little bit more mustache twirling than.
Yes. You could tell there was a lot of movie references this season. A lot of them. Like, a lot of, like, I mean, besides, movies that clearly inspired the writers besides the Karate Kid, you know what I mean, that they added into there this season. The music was great. I will say that the music scenes that when they were at the bar in the 90s and the 80s,
I agree. So what do you guys think of the final battle? The final battle at Cobra Kai. I'm gonna call it the final battle because it pretty much was a battle.
I liked it.
The whole so they're trying to get evidence. They're trying to get evidence of Silver being doing illegal things. In this case, they couldn't get. I think they were originally going to try. So the kids were trying to get Stingray to admit stuff, and Stingray, as a nod to a show called Stranger Things, is playing Dungeons and Dragons. Stingray uses his Dungeons and Dragons terminology to explain how he got beat up and who actually beat him up. I forget what did he call Terry Silver? What was he like, the swordsman, the long-haired swordsman, or warrior, or what? I forget what he was, what they called him, but doesn't matter. But the fact that that's how the kids find out about what happened to Stingray. And they try to get the evidence. They try to get the surveillance footage. Well, that was all deleted, so they couldn't get that. But they found something even juicier. They found Tori. They found the thing that Tori, the conversation that Tori had with him, where she confronts him about the whole paying off the referee at the All Valley. So they're trying to get that, but then they sneak in, they break into Cobra Kai. I think it was the Encino. Location.
Mm-hmm.
They break in and they get betrayed. So there's another betrayal, but who gives a shit about this? This is Penis Breath. So Penis Breath betrays them. I don't remember the character's name, so everybody calls him Penis Breath. I'm gonna call him Penis Breath. So Penis Breath betrays them, and then that's where everything gets out of control. So they're trying to keep people from going upstairs to where the office is, and Dimitri and Hawk are the two that have to get the information. They have to download it, and heck, they even give Anthony, who is an unlikable little bastard in the first few seasons, they gave him a payoff where he uses his ability to navigate with tablets, which is something even I have a hard time doing. He uses knowledge of tablets to be able to get to not only download the footage but to put it on the screen for everybody to see. So actually Anthony was the real hero for exposing that. And then of course Daniel comes in. They have the fight that was set up. So if this was made by Dan and Dave, Game of Thrones, there'd be no fight between Daniel and Silver. It would just be Samantha that would come out of the middle of nowhere and just stab him with dragonglass.
Hey, Napoleon, can I just point something out? With all that money that they put into these dojos, especially the flagship, you think they would have had like fucking gamer quality fucking Wi-Fi? Because that motherfucker took forever to fucking load.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was like dial-up shit right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think of that. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm a normie when it comes to all that shit. So I had no idea what I was gonna. I had no idea about that. So it's a good thing you brought that up. So
yeah, I mean that was like freaking AOL. Like I was waiting for the loading thing to go.
Yeah, they needed to build
next
this
that the James Bond villain leaves 7 minutes on the Doomsday device. Like,
yes.
Yeah. What's funny is they call in the show the kids called him a James, or I think it was one of the kids that called him a James. It was Dimitri probably that called Silver a James Bond villain.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But yeah, that's what I love. It's funny is that, yeah, like you said, it's very self-aware. The show is self-aware of itself, yes. And you know what? That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, and we skipped over it, but basically how they protected Anthony, I believe it's his name. I'm horrible with these names too. Was earlier in the show when Chosen was teaching them how to work together with those damn eggs that we forgot to.
Yeah, they kept together. They were better protected, but apart they were weak and they were able to be picked off one by one.
Yeah,
what Chosen did.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do? They put all their eggs into one basket, which is something you generally don't want to do. But hey, this is not the stock market. And then they protect it. They protect it. The tribe comes together and they protect what is most important.
Yeah, and then at the end of the show,
they did that same, and they did the same thing. So that was the payoff for that thing. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes, that and at the end when we find out Chosen was alive, and he was like, it's just a flesh wound.
He would say that. He would say that too.
And then Mike stole the Rembrandt painting and was like, "This should be enough."
He's like, "This should be enough. This should be enough for my entire star." I was like, the first thing I thought was they're gonna say you stole it.
Yeah,
they're gonna like, how can you afford this? You stole it from somebody. You ripped it off. Then you go to jail.
Yeah.
But once again, this is 80s. Like Alex said, this is based off of 80s entertainment. You got to suspend that disbelief.
I love it, and I also love that it's not as dark as the last couple of seasons, because I was like, I just felt like I was being brought down too much, a little bit, and this one felt a little bit lighter. I was glad that the comic relief was there.
Yeah, I agree too. So just want to shout out my friend Brian Anderson, member of the channel, friend in real life, and he says he's mildly disappointed with the season so far. Well, it gets better. I'm telling you, it gets better.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got those fans that are like, this is shit. And those and that's awesome, but it kind of does remind me of that South Park episode where Stan thinks everything is shit.
Yeah.
And he has to drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your...
All right, yeah, ask your question, sorry.
I was going to say, so what do you guys predict for next season? I have no clue.
Like I said, I think well, we're definitely going to get the tournament. They're definitely going to go to the tournament. I think Silver will return in some form. I think maybe. I'm not quite certain. Kreese will be back. Hopefully, Kreese might start off as another villain again. Start off as a bad guy, but then I think he'll eventually get redeemed at some point. And I hope his story and like his story and Johnny's or their relationship pays off. That's why I'm hoping to see. And I think next season will be the final season, or they're going to continue with the younger kids if they decide to keep going. I think it's going to be season 6 is more likely going to be the final season.
Yeah, because they didn't leave anything open. You know what I mean?
Not much, no.
And I don't know what's left to like cover, like what questions or what story arcs need to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean everything, like all the feuds and all the feuds got resolved. And I mean the only thing that's left is Kreese and the tournament. Those are really the only two things hanging.
I mean,
it's going to be interesting. They did set up a little bit sort of some stuff about the poor kids can basically write their own ticket if they win. So I could very much see a conflict where, Tori versus Sam versus whoever, with the understanding that if Sam wins, it basically doesn't mean anything for her. If Tori wins, it means, she can take care of her mother and, she can basically have a good life. So I could see that being a thing. I could see sort of something similar happening with Johnny and Miguel, though I think those might be, them trying to sort of have one last hurrah with their friends before they go off to college potentially. I don't know. Like, are they seniors? Are they sophomores? Like, they
are seniors. So the junior prom was at the end of last season.
And this was
the summer in between junior and senior year. So next season will be senior year. I think they'll be graduating. There'll be some time passed.
My question is: where are we traveling to go play the Sakai Takai? Where?
Japan.
Okay.
To a non-extradition country, so Kreese can be there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Very fun.
So there might be another. I don't know if Cobra Kai is going to still be a thing. I don't know if it's going to be Kreese and what's her name are gonna run Cobra Kai. Since Silver's gone, I think Cobra Kai is still going to be in the. Well, all the kids quit though. There's the thing though. All the kids quit.
So it might actually
the American kids are going to be on one team, and it's going to be Lucy Liu's Japanese All-Star Squad.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's going to be the Monstars versus the Looney Tunes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Space Jam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the Way of the Fist, the original OGs, versus the hybrid. You know,
I could see that, and I just hope that if they do a tournament, it should be. If they're going to do a tournament, I want it to be like a full season tournament. I want to see like well, I mean, it's not going to be. I mean, well, once again, like I'm comparing it to anime, but the thing is, anime tournaments are totally different than real life tournaments.
Yeah, and I
It's
want
not just three. It's not just three hits and you're done.
Yeah, I think you do. Either you do one round an episode, or you do what they do in anime, where they have a round, and then they have an episode where they do other shit, where they recover from the fight from the previous round and prepare for the next round.
Yeah.
No, I think you're 100%
like
right.
I'm thinking Dragon Ball, Yu Yu
Yeah.
Hakusho, those shows. But they
if they gave us the Yu Yu Hakusho tournament style, either the first one or the end tournament, absolutely, this would be great.
Yeah.
I also want the stadium to be freaking Olympic size. Okay, if you're going international, this shit's got to look epic.
Oh yeah,
it can't look like the Valley.
And it's gotta be like the tournament has to be bigger, like it not only bigger, but like more than just 3 hits. Like it's got to be like I want to see some real fights. I want to see some
Yes, exactly. Oh,
we're gonna do a boxing style. We're gonna do you get or MMA style. You get 3-minute rounds. Whoever scores the most points or gets a knockout wins.
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. But it's been over 2 hours now, so I have stuff I have to do. So let's. So any final thoughts on this season? How you guys think this season did compared to the other seasons?
Awesome.
I think this is my second favorite.
What's
I think still prefer season 1, but another excellent contribution to an excellent show.
Okay, I'm kind of up there too. I like this season. I don't know if this is the best season. I still haven't made up my mind yet. But I really liked. It was really. I loved how it ended. It's just the final battle was just freaking awesome. Like I was. Heck, they even gave Stingray a moment to redeem himself, and he took out those 3 guys. That's why I included. It was so awesome. I included in the opening. So, but I mean, it was another great season. One of the best shows on, probably my second favorite show that came out this year after Better Call Saul, and it's I really enjoyed the hell out of it, and I hope we get more shows in their vein. I mean, they're working. I think the 3 guys that created Cobra Kai are working on another show. I forgot what it's called, but I hope what they're working on now turns out to be as good.
Yeah. The next things I'm looking forward to are Halloween Ends and then Titans and Doom Patrol. Those are the only things I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year.
Okay, you said Halloween Ends. I'm a big. I love the original. I mean, I've done a video on the first 2 Halloweens, and last year was my first year as a YouTuber, so first movie I ever covered and came back home to react to was Halloween Kills. So what do you think of Halloween Kills?
I thought, okay, in the nerd, I actually did not mind it. Okay, here's how I look at it. I look at it like Lord of the Rings. You got Lord of the Rings, which is Halloween 2018. Then you got Halloween Kills, which is basically like the 2 towers. And then you got the Ends, which is going to be the finale. You know what I mean? It's just an in-between movie.
It's not going to be a finale. They're going to bring back, give them 8 years, and they'll bring back Mike. They'll resurrect Michael Myers like they always do.
But I meant with this arc. I meant with this anthology. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm looking at it. So I wasn't disappointed by Kills because I thought it was like a filler movie, like Towers was. You know what I mean?
I loved 2 Towers. 2 Towers is. Yeah, I mean, I love. It's hard for me to compare all 3 of the Lord of the Rings movies. They're all great in their own way.
I know, but it was the battle movie, is what I'm trying to say. That's basically what Kills was for me. But yeah, I'm cool with that. And then of course my DC stuff because I'm a DC nerd.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be covering Halloween Ends. I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna do a stream. Definitely gonna do a stream reaction to it. So
yeah, that's
yeah. So it's something I've been looking forward to for a while. I was really I was happy with Halloween Kills, at least all the Michael Myers stuff. The The hospital stuff, not so much. And then there were other issues I had with it. They brought characters back just to kill them. Like they brought back Sheriff Brackett just to kill him. He barely had any scene. He barely had a scene, and the same with a bunch of other characters. But I did like the 1978 stuff that they did show. What did you think of that?
I liked it. I mean, it was cool. I mean, the new stuff. I mean, it was clearly not from the original, but it was cool. It expanded on it.
So yeah, that's probably the only other thing there's a lot of other things I need to look into to check out. So yeah, definitely. I'll let you know. If you want to, could do a Halloween Ends thing in the
Hell
future.
yeah.
So, about you, Alex? What are you looking forward to? Got anything going on with you?
I look forward to nothing. My modern Hollywood has broken me.
I know.
I go into everything expecting it to suck, and I rarely am surprised.
Rarely find that diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Like Cobra Kai.
Let's see. House of the Dragon is already out. Cobra Kai is already out. Everything Marvel will be dog shit from here on out. It's going to take
Marvel.
DC
I'm done with
years
Marvel. Yeah, I'm done with Marvel. So
I'm glad to have found someone else who is clean of that narcotic. I'm happy for you. What am I excited for? Nothing.
Anything you want
Sorry,
to plug?
go ahead.
Anything you want to plug?
Continuing with the White Cloaks rewatch. So trying to complete the dissection of the desecration that was the Wheel of Prime. So that's a thing. Pips has me doing ratings videos for the Nielsen official watch numbers for streaming, and I'm excited for next week because we're going to get She-Hulk, which I'm very curious to see if anybody actually watched that shit, and then we're going to get 6 hours of House of the Dragon. So I'm curious to see if 6 hours of House of the Dragon not only made the top 10 list, but maybe even knocked off She-Hulk.
We'll have to find out, won't we?
I'm
okay. So Pips,
so
is Pips the boss then? Pips is having you do shit.
Pips has that Marine Corps work ethic and sense of discipline. He keeps the rest of us on track.
Okay. What's up, Pips?
And God bless him. He's a phenomenal guy.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah, I agree. He's great, and he brings up really good points in during when we were doing House of the Dragon stream. So yeah, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have him on the panel with us. So, but I forgot to ask you, Divergent. Do you have anything that you want to plug? Is there any you're working on in particular?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just playing some Friday the 13th and playing Ghost of Tsushima. In October, at the end of October, I will be live first time reacting to Gotham Knights because I pre-ordered the video game. So I'll be doing that. And anybody wants to catch me on my socials, I'm the Divergent Collective on YouTube, at the Divergent Collective on Twitter, and the Divergent Collective on Twitch.
Cool. Thanks for that. Mm-hmm. And well, for myself, next major. There's a lot of things I kind of want to do. There's projects I've already planned on working on, and then of course a lot of times YouTubers don't really work on. Some YouTubers work on projects that they've been thinking about for a while, and there's projects that people do at a whim, reactions or reviews of episodes that just come out. In my case, I do reactions, but every Sunday I do House of the Dragon. It's me, Pips, Prophet, the Dragon, and Salty Tuxie. The four of us, we generally break down the episode, our initial reactions, break down the episode. Usually I go into the lore. Pips will ask the deeper character-driven questions. And and Prophet and Salty are all they all contribute greatly to the stream. I'm really grateful for that, and I do want to do some. I mean, my next major video project retrospective is a retrospective on the original 1968 Planet of the Apes. That's my next major project. So, I've been working on Ocarina of Time for 3 months. So now I'm going to go back to doing something simple like retrospecting a movie. So, but yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. And of course, I'm also on with Salty and Prophet. We and Nathan from Man and Manethrin, and we talk about we do a watch party watching the Rings of Power, the new episodes every Thursday night. And let's just say the last one, I didn't get anything out of it. It was just ridiculous. I'm not used to watch parties, so it was a very interesting experience.
At least we could say you're a completionist.
Yeah, I tried rewatching episode 3, and it was just, oh my gosh, it's so boring.
It's impossible.
It's like watching a Disney. It's like watching a Star Wars Disney Plus show or a Marvel Disney Plus show. It's just like, who are they hiring to write this stuff? So
I guess the difference is at least the Disney Plus and the Star Wars shit. They have the J.J. Abrams. If we move fast, nobody will realize what we're saying is incoherent. Rings of Power has slow incoherence. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I know. So, but yeah, so it's ridiculous. So there are shows out there that are. So I try to keep a lookout for shows that are done by creators that have vision and that have passion, and the stuff that's being content that's being spewed out by these companies, these corporations. They're not in. They're just not up there in quality. They're not up there. Period. So. So you have to really look for what's good. I mean, once again, Better Call Saul, shows like Cobra Kai, shows like, heck, I'll go on a limb and say House of the Dragon is a fairly decent show. I like it enough. I'm interested enough to keep watching. And I mean, there's plenty of shows out there. Of course, there's also the Terminal List, and there was also what the hell's the Reacher show before. Those were actually good on Amazon. So I mean, it's Stranger Things, that too. So there's diamonds out there that, and that's part of the point of my channel is instead of pointing out all the negative stuff, that I'll let the other channels, pull that off and call out Disney and them until they're blue in the face. I find it. I just want to recommend stuff that I feel is worth your time, and that's the point of my channel. So.
Yeah.
So follow me obviously at the subscribe button, and follow me at Nerdporial on Twitter, at Nerdporial Lifeform on Instagram, and I'm on Twitch too. So I barely use it, so I'm there too. But that's the point of my channel. So, other than that, I think this is where I think that's it. So, Alex, thank you for coming by. Thank you for taking a risk and. Because I mean, you didn't know who we barely. I don't think we ever talked before this, so this was a first. So thank you for coming on.
I watched a bunch of your stuff. I know you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, man. Okay. Thanks for allowing me to do this, man. I've always wanted to do like a reaction retrospective of a show that I like.
Yeah, and you've told me yourself, Divergent. You've reached out to me, and I mean, I'm not one of those YouTubers because I don't get enough requests. So I don't have a reason to ghost people.
I know they're like, well, you don't get the right amount of viewer count.
I don't have hundreds of people DMing me, so I don't have that problem yet.
Yeah.
Yet. So, but once again, so I appreciate you, Divergent. I thought you were great. You guys both were great additions to the panel, and Runner, if you're listening. Thank you for coming by. It was great.
Yeah, Runner was cool. Runner needs to cosplay as Robbie, dude. He looks exactly like Robbie.
I think people have said that. So but I've met Runner at the convention here in Chicago, so I was able to actually meet him in the flesh.
Whorehound.
Cool guy,
Oh.
cool guy. So just
I
me and
met him
him,
in
we just
Chicago.
had a nerd. We just talked nerd stuff for like hours, and yeah. So I was like, I have to get you on a stream, and so one of the things that we both liked was Cobra Kai, so I felt Cobra Kai was the best way to get him on. So yeah. So once again, yeah. So
And I love that you guys are physical media dudes. I watch Wet Movie One and a few other people that are really heavy into physical media, and they go searching for the stuff because a lot of that physical media is worth like $300-$400 if you find the right copy.
I got I have the Godfather 50th anniversary collection right there, and of course it's laying because it's like a coffee table. I can't put it on the regular shelves, so I have it leaning up against my all my various video game console minis. I kept the boxes there just to make it look decent, and of course then I have a Link's Awakening poster, but behind that is a Godzilla Showa era collection. So from the very first Godzilla from 1954 all the way till I think was it Mecha Godzilla versus everybody in 1975. So it's got like the first 15 Godzilla films.
Did you ever upload a video of showing like your whole shelf and what you got your collection?
I showed a couple of shelves. I didn't show the whole thing as short. So I showed all my Gundam stuff, which is where I'm pointing at right now. So all the Gundam Blu-rays I have, which I still have yet to watch. I mean, I've seen them before, but I haven't watched these in particular yet.
I need to get Super Sentai on Blu-ray.
Same here. I need to get Zhu Ranger, and especially the ones that are the most nostalgic to me. So Zhu Ranger, Die Ranger, O Ranger, those shows. Those were good.
Yes.
So, I think Shout still, but once because I believe once was it Hasbro bought Power Rangers, then they kind of put a wrench in what Shout's been doing, releasing all the Sentai. It's weird. So a buddy of mine's owns all that, and he's usually the one that keeps me up to date on everything. He actually is the one that runs the. He was the one that kept track of like every single Sentai show being fan subbed, and which episodes are available and which are not. So all Super Sentai is available to watch is all translated now. So
yeah, and you can watch it. I know you can watch Die Ranger for free on YouTube.
Oh, can you? Okay.
Yeah, I looked it up. Full episodes.
Okay. Which would have been season 2 of Power Rangers. Had they changed the outfits, but they didn't change the outfits from Zhu Ranger. So there you go. So, but yeah, okay. But yeah, so I was thinking of doing a stream. I'm thinking of probably doing a stream talking about physical media. Maybe get Runner and get a few other people on. So it's ideas. I just bounce ideas off of my head every day. So whatever works and whatever doesn't. So, but yeah, so it's time for us to leave. So other than that, guys, take care. Have a good one. If you missed it, here's the clip I showed in the beginning.